Very good morning to one and all on this beautiful morning. I, Dr. Anant Vadatkar, feel pleased to welcome each and every one of you to the International Web Conference on Advanced Material Science and Nanotechnology NanoMat 2020, organized by Department of Physics, Vinayak Vignan Mahavidyalaya, Nangaon Khandeshwar, District Amravati, India. On this auspicious occasion of inauguration of web conference, we are graced to have a president of today's function, Honorable Sau Sulbhatai Sanjay Khodke, MLA Amravati, and President of Praveen Khodke Memorial Trust Amravati. Inaugurator, Honorable Dr. Murlidhar Chandekar, Vice Chancellor of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University Amravati. The chief guest, Dr. Keshav Tupe, Joint Director of Higher Education Amravati. The guest of honor, Dr. F.C. Raghuvanshi, Dean Faculty of Science and Technology, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University Amravati. The keynote speaker, Senior Professor K.M. Jadhav, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University Aurangabad, and the organizer of this conference, Dr. Alka Bhise ma'am, the principal of our college, as well as respected resource person from India and abroad, valuable participant from all over country and the globe, and my esteemed colleagues. On the behalf of organizing committee, I would like to welcome you all to this web conference. The aims and objective of this conference are to focus an attention of innovative research activities in advanced material science and nanotechnology in broad sense in national and international level during this pandemic situation of COVID-19. This two-day web conference will cover importance of material science and nanotechnology as well as its interdisciplinary subjects. In this conference, there will be 9 technical sessions with 1 keynote lecture, including 4 foreign invited speakers, 50 oral presentations and more than 90 poster presentations. Here I am happy to announce that we received total 146 research papers in the form of an abstract and videos of oral as well as poster presentation. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Dr. Alka Bhise ma'am, the organizer and principal of our college, to deliver her welcome speech. Please ma'am.
Good morning everybody. I am Dr. Alka Bhise, Principal Vinayak Vignan Mahavidyalaya, Nangaon Khandeshwar, District Amravati, Maharashtra, India. Heartily welcome you all in this 2 days international web conference on material science and nanotechnology, which we have named as NanoMat 2020. In this unprecedented calamity of Corona, we have come together through technology from distant places. I welcome President of today's inaugural function, MLA Amravati, and President of Praveen Khodke Memorial Trust Amravati, Shrimati Sulbhatai Khodke, our honored guest and inaugurator of web conference, Dr. Murlidhar Chandekar, Vice Chancellor of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati, Chief Guest, Dr. Keshavji Tupe, Joint Director, Higher Education, Amravati Region, Dr. F.C. Raghuvanshi, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. I also welcome the invited stalwarts in the subject of physics and chemistry and among them are the keynote speaker Dr. K.M. Jadhav from the Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, Dr. R.S. Shinde, Director from Raja Ramanna Center for Advanced Technology, Indore, Professor M.D. Shirsat from Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, Professor Dr. R.D. Sharma, Department of Chemistry, Hanyang University, South Korea, Professor Dr. Mahavir Singh Ji, former Vice Chancellor of IEC University, Himachal Pradesh, and presently associated with Department of Physics, University of Shimla. Professor Dr. Pankaj Koinkar, Assistant Director, Center for International Research and Educational Cooperation, Tokushima University, Japan. Dr. Harsharaj Jadhav, Associate Professor, Myeonggi Universities, South Korea. Dr. Srimati Pratiksha Dongre, Rice University, Houston, Texas, USA. Dr. P.K. Ghosh from MIT, Pune. Dr. Vague from Department of Physics, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati. And all the participants, not only from Maharashtra, but all over the India and abroad too. I also welcome my colleagues, Dr. Suchita Khodke, and the members of the organizing committee, Dr. Anant Wadatkar, Dr. Prashant Kharat, and Shri Ajay Ambore. Our institute, Vinayak Vigyan Mahavidyalaya, established in 2007, is an only college at Tehsil of Nandgaon, rendering education in science and commerce. Though the institute is in its early stage of development, we are sure that in the near future we are definitely move ahead in this journey. COVID-19 pandemic has affected the human life all over the world. Life has come to standstill. Education and research too are affected, but we are the actual workers in this field should not stop. We can utilize this standstill period to come together and have thoughtful interaction with the help of technology available. Through this conference, the experts in the subject are going to share their knowledge to the participants. I once again welcome all and wish you a great success to the achievement of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, I would like to invite Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati, Dr. Chandekar sir, to deliver his inaugural speech. Please, sir. Thank you, sir, for inaugurating this conference. We hope that you will support us unceasing hereafter too. Now, it gives an immense pleasure to invite Dr. Keshav Tupe, the Joint Director of Higher Education Amravati Division, to guide us on this occasion.
Friends, one and all, have a nice day. All dignitaries, participants, stakeholders, conveners, and all faculties who are actively engaged in this international web conference. I am glad to convey you that Vinayak Vigyan Mahavidyalaya, Nandgaon, Khandeshwar, organizing the International Web Conference on Advanced Material Science and Nanotechnology on 20th and 21st June 2020 I am really pleased because this Vinayak Vignan Mahavidyalaya is a small college and it's in rural periphery, but this college enthusiastic team has organized an international web conference. So first of all, I will give my special thank to the principal of this college, Dr. Alka Bhise, and his energized faculties who have deeply took effort for the success of this international web conference. Friends, due to this COVID-19 pandemic, the world has totally changed. There have occurred drastic changes on global scenario. Our health system, our social system, our education system are much and more affected. Our higher education system have also struck down. Do you know, from 3 to 4 months, our colleges and universities have also locked down. So, we want to think about our traditional teaching methods. We want to think our face-to-face teaching learning system. And nowadays, in this Corona era, we all are, the stakeholders of higher educations are rethinking, reimagining to restructure the system of higher education. And I assure you here that teaching such type of e-conferences, e-learning is the probable solution in this lockdown era. On government level also, our HRD, our state ministry, many ranked institute has going to start and rescheduled this system. You know, our HRD has developed many courses like Swayam, MOOC, AICT, NIOS, NPTEL. These institutes have developed such type of e-courses. I hereby request you to see it and aware to our students to participate, register to these courses. Faculties shall register also to the courses like Arpit and so on. I know this is not space to talk with you about the agenda of government. But friends, I will tell you here that you all faculties are going to develop e-content in teaching and learning from such a type of FDP maybe or e-conferences or other using other platforms. For developing this content and to use it online, many platforms are available. We should use it and shall give their benefits to our students who come from tribal and rural area. It is very difficult to reach tribal area because they have many obstacles to reach near us. Such a type of students who lives on periphery, in tribal area, in remote area, in rural area, we should work for them. How can we reach our physics, our day-to-day chemistry to that students, to that people who come from remote sense? I know it is difficult to reach on periphery, but not impossible. To solve these issues, the role of teaching faculties is most important. Our teachers, researchers, experts are more potent and competent because they are not only professionals but practitioners. They will find way out. They will find out new innovative ideas. They will use new teaching learning methods, techniques, and will solve these issues. You know, many platforms are available. Such type of e-conference or other webinar or WebEx or other many platforms we can use and reach with that people, with that students, with that higher education stakeholders. It is really difficult but not impossible. You know about Rabindranath Tagore, Nobel laureate poet. They have wrote a very famous poem. I will quote here some lines of that poem in my mother tongue. It is in Marathi. Some stakeholders maybe hear about that poem. It is as अस्तमानाला जाणाऱ्या सूर्याच्या मनात आलं, मी अस्ताला गेल्यानंतर सगळीकडे अंधकार पसरे, मग हा अंधार कोण दूर करेल. लोक कासावीस होती तेव्हा एक पणती धिटाईनं पुढं झाली आणि म्हणाली, हा सारा अंधकार तर मी दूर करू शकणार नाही, पण मी तेवत राहीन आणि प्रकाशाने अंधकार भेदला जातो यावरचा लोकांचा विश्वास जागता ठेवे. आय होप टीचर इज ॲज लाईक दॅट लॅम्प, दॅट पंथी, अँड he can pull the students from this dark period and will put them in digital era. My best wishes are always with you. Thanks once again, all of you, with bright future for your this international e-conference. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable guidance. Now, it is indeed an honor to invite the guest of honor of this inaugural session, the academician Dr. F.C. Raghuvanshi sir, Dean Faculty of Science and Technology, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati, to enlighten us with his knowledge. Please, sir.
Chairperson of today's inaugural function, so Shulbatai Kholke, President of Praveen Kholke Memorial Trust and MLA of Amravati. The inaugurator of the function, Dr. Chandekar sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati. Chief guest of the function, Dr. केशव तुपे, जॉइंट डायरेक्टर, अमरावती रीजन, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र. कीनोट स्पीकर डॉक्टर के.एम. जाधव, डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर मराठवाडा यूनिवर्सिटी औरंगाबाद, डॉक्टर अलका भिसे, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ दिस कॉलेज, डॉक्टर सुचिता कोळके, IQAC कोऑर्डिनेटर, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी डॉक्टर अनंत वडतकर, कन्व्हेनर डॉक्टर खरात, co-convener Dr. Ambore, all the invited speaker, delegates, research scholar, staffs, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning to one and all. It's my great pleasure to be with you for the inaugural function of this international web conference on advanced material and nanotechnology. I thank to organizer for giving me this opportunity to share my view with you. I congratulate management, principal and staff of the college for organizing international conference. I congratulate the young and dynamic staff because they have selected a good topic which is the need of the hour, and they have organized international web conference in a very young college in a small city like Nandgaon Khandeshwar. Staff of the college has tapped the opportunity of COVID-19. In past, we have organized the physical conferences, but due to COVID-19, we have shifted on e-conferences and properly utilizing the period of the lockdown. In last few decades, the technology is changing very fast. Due to this change in the technology, new college like Vinayak Vigyan Mahavidyalaya can organize the international web conference in a small city. Without the technical, it is difficult to organize international conferences in a small places. The material play a very important role in the development of technology. The different material possesses different properties. The properties of the material can be studied by its characterization. The properties of the material can changes by changing the different synthesis method or by using the combination of different material or by adding some foreign impurity in a material. The characteristic properties of the material changes drastically. By using different synthesis technique, we can change the property of same materials. Same material, by using the different synthesis technique, it may exhibit different property. One of this material is nanomaterial. The property of the bulk material is different than the property of the nanomaterial. This nanomaterial can be considered as a smart material. The smart material means the material having different properties and its property changes with the change in the environment. By changing the preparative parameter, its property can be changed, and such smart material can be used in a technology to develop a smart devices. The smart devices are the devices which can perform number of functions. For example, smartphone. The smartphone is possible only due to a smart material. If we have a material which can store a data, the capacity of the material to store the data depend upon its properties. By using this characteristic, we have developed a device like pen drive. In a small pen drive, we can store a very large data. This is the development of the material, and due to development of the material, we can design a new devices. The organizer has selected different resource persons. They are working in a different field of material science. This conference can provide a very good platform for budding scientists. They can share their thought, innovative ideas with the resource persons and other delegates. I am sure that this conference will provide a solution to the problem of the budding scientists. They can get new direction, new thought, as well as motivation to carry out their research project. Dear friend, research play very important role in higher education. The higher education provide a basic to the research, whereas the output of the research update the higher education. Thus, the research is an integral part of the higher education. Thus, we must consider research as one of the components of higher education. Dear friend, I know it is very difficult to carry out the research activity in affiliated college because we have number of problems such as infrastructures, equipments, funds, and most important is absence of proper motivation and cooperation. We can overcome these difficulties by strong will and determination. We can produce a quality research, and the quality research can be carried out anywhere provided you have such intention, your dedication is necessary, and then you can carry out the research work anywhere. Fortunately, today we have number of funding agencies such as DST, DBT, CSR, etc., which are ready to offer the funds to promote the research even in a affiliated college. We have internet facilities by which we can get a latest development in a particular field in which we are working. By using this, we can carry out our research. It is my sincere suggestion that the research work should be published in a quality journals so that it will give the recognition at the international level. Dear friend, we are working in a higher education and we are in contact with student. It is our responsibility that we should inculcate the research activities in a student even at a UG level. Today's generation is very smart. They are very fertile. They know how to handle the technology, but they need a proper guidance, training, and environment. If we provide this thing to the student, I am sure that they can produce a very good research output. I am sure that this conference will provide a huge momentum and motivation to carry out a quality research. I extend my best wishes for the grand success of the conference Once again, I thank organizer for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I feel thrilled to invite Professor K.M. Jadhav, sir, a well-known professor of physics from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, to deliver his keynote address. Before that, I am happy to unveil his real academic achievements in front of you. Professor K.M. Jadhav is working as a senior professor and former head of Department of Physics, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, MS, India. Professor Jadhav has 33 years experience in teaching, research and innovations. He is having around 3 years of administrative experience as head of university department. During this span, he supports many students who are from rural background. He provides a platform to them to their research actively. He was awarded Best Research Professor Award by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad for his significant contribution in the research and teaching. He is elected Fellow of Maharashtra Academy of Science. He has worked in several academic and research bodies as a chairman of various universities. He has 3 patents in his credit, 2 from Australian government and 1 from Government of India. He has 287 plus research publications from SCI, Scopus, Web of Science, indexed journals and peer-reviewed journals. His H index is 41 and I10 index is 117. His work is cited for 5317 times in Google Scholar. H index 25, citations 2321. Scopus. He has successfully supervised more than 50 PhD scholars. His PhD students are presently leading various institutes as a director, principal, heads of various departments and postdoc fellows as well in various countries. Some of his notable PhD students are Dr. Dhanraj Mane, Director of Higher Education Maharashtra, Principal Ashok Pandit, Principal Yaman Sarnaik and many more. So I request Professor K.M. Jadhav sir to deliver his keynote address. Please sir.
Good morning to one and all who are present online for this international conference on advanced materials and nanotechnology. The conference is of immense use to all the researchers, particularly who have recently started their research work, and for others also it is useful to know what is going on currently in the field of material science and nanotechnology. Also, you will get an opportunity to interact with the expertise who are working in this field. In the beginning, I would like to thank the organizers of this conference. So Sulba Sanjay Khodke, the president of this college, Dr. Alka Anand Bise, the principal of this college, that is Vinayak Vigyan Mahavidyalay, Nandgaon, Khandeshwar district, Amravati. Head Department of Physics, Dr. Wadodkar, and my favorite student, Dr. Prashant Rath, working as an assistant professor in this college. He joined this college very recently in the month of January 2020, and within a span of 2 months only, he and his head Wadatkar has worked on this theme of the conference and decided to organize this conference. The conference is, as I said, that it will be beneficial to all those. It will throw light on the material science and nanotechnology at present and how it is useful for various applications and how our life become easier and simpler. We are dealing with the different kinds of materials. You know, around us various kinds of materials are available. These materials are having different properties, chemical properties, physical properties, thermal properties, and on that basis they perform or they have the application in different directions. All these properties can be tailor-made by choosing appropriate method of preparation or by adding some dopant in them. We can enhance, we can desire, we can tailor their properties as per our need. My talk is related to the role of material science and nanotechnology in various applications. In brief, I will introduce myself. I am Dr. K.M. Jadhav and working as a senior professor in the Department of Physics, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Since last 25 years, I am working in this department. My area of research is mostly the magnetic materials, and presently I am working with the magnetic nanoparticles and their application in particular the medical application, that is hyperthermia. We, as I told you, that we are dealing with the various kinds of materials like fabric, wood, plastic, metal, paper, etc. All these materials, all these materials are having different properties. Now, these materials are closely connected to our culture and shape the development of civilization since the dawn of the mankind. The development and advancement of societies are dependent on the available materials and their use. Initially, there was only one natural material. Better materials for tools and weapons has allowed mankind to spread and conquer an advancement in material processing. So, on the availability of these materials, we have the Bronze Age, we have the Iron Age, we have the Middle Age, the Industrial Age, Information Age, and recently we have the Nanotechnology Age. Now, what are the materials? Materials are the metals. As you know, the metals are nothing but the aluminum, copper, nickel, titanium, steel, etc. Then ceramics are also the materials. Clay, silica glass, alumina, quartz, etc. belongs to the ceramic category. Then we have the polymers, that is polyvinyl chloride, Teflon, various plastic, glue, Kevlar, etc. And the fourth one, the composite, wood, carbon, concrete, etc. Composite materials are those which combine the two different materials and exhibit the two different properties at the same time. We have the different types of the material, and they can be divided according to their crystalline nature and amorphous nature. Crystalline materials are those materials containing one or more crystals in each crystal atom of or ions show a long range periodic arrangement. All metals and alloys are crystalline materials. These include iron, steel, copper, brass, bronze, aluminum, beryllium, uranium, thorium, etc. All these are crystalline materials. Amorphous materials, these materials are those materials they do not have the regular periodic arrangement of atoms. So such materials are called as an amorphous materials. So basically we have the crystalline materials and amorphous materials. The amorphous crystalline materials are, as I told, that they belong to the metals, ceramics, polymer, and composite materials. In metals, what we see, the valence electrons are free moving and spread in an electron sheet that glues the ions together. Strong ductile conduct electricity and heat well are shiny if polished. So they have the particular properties these metals have. They are ductile. They conduct the electricity. They also conduct the heat. They are shiny if they are polished. So these are the particular properties of the metals, and we can use them for different purposes. Now the second part is the ceramics. It is composed of ions and are bound by Coulomb forces. They are usually combination of metals or semiconductors with oxygen, nitrogen or carbon. They are hard, they are brittle, they are insulators. The example for such kind of materials are glass, porcelain, etc. So for ceramics, we observe that their properties are altogether different than the metal, and on the basis of their properties, they have the different applications also. Polymers, they are bound or covalent bonded or weak van der Waals bonded based on carbon and hydrogen. They decompose of moderate temperature around 100 to 400 degrees centigrade and are of lightweight, example plastic, rubber, etc. So this is the third category of the material. The fourth category is the composite. It is nothing but the mixture of two different materials to create a new material, and it exhibits the combined properties of the constituent materials. The crystalline materials is a material composed of, as I told you that, so we need not go into the details of this material. We have the functional classification of the material, how these materials are useful for different applications, how these materials exhibit their properties in different way, and according their properties and their performance, they are used in different applications. In an aerospace, we need different kinds of material. For biomedical application, we need different kinds of material. For electronic application, we need electronic material. For energy storage, energy technology, we have the different materials. For magnetic application, we need magnetic materials. For photonic and optical application, we need photonic or optical materials, smart materials, and natural materials. So, on on their application, we can have the materials in different category. All these materials, when they available in natural resources or when they are prepared artificially by using some method of preparation, all these materials are need to be characterized. It is very essential to characterize these materials because by characterizing these materials we can understand their structure. We should know the size of the material. Now recently, as you know that nanoscience and nanotechnology is playing a vital role. So size is very important. So to know the size of the material, they should be characterized. To know its different properties like physical, chemical, mechanical, they are to be characterized by the different techniques. And lastly, to know their applicability in our daily life, it is necessary to characterize these materials. The characterization of material has two main aspects: accurately measuring the physical and chemical properties of materials, accurately measuring the structure of a material, atomic level structure and microscope level structure. Second, the mechanical, electrical, magnetic properties of material strongly dependent on its characteristics. Therefore, the characterization is very important part of an structure property correlation. We can characterize the material in different ways. In order to know the structural properties, the tools available for this characterization are basically the X-ray diffraction technique, which is being used from long time and is the only technique which can identify the structure of the material. Then we have the neutron diffraction. Further, we can have FTIR like that. There are different structural properties. Then, to understand or to characterize the thermal properties of the material, we are having TGA, DTA or DSC techniques. For morphological studies, same, that is scanning electron microscope, FESM, TEM, STM, AFM are the tools available for the morphological study. All these are working on different principles. For magnetic characterization, we have the VSM, pulse field hysteresis loop technique, then SQUID. All these tools are available nowadays. And for microscopic, we have the FTIR, UV visible, DRS, XPS, ESR, NMR, and so other techniques. So, as there is a development in the material, their performance is increasing. So, we need the different tools or the technique to characterize them. For example, for structural properties, initially we have the X-ray diffraction, but as there is a progress in the material, we have the different techniques available. Similarly, for morphological studies, basically there is a same only, but for detailed analysis of the surface morphology, there is a FESM. So, different tools and techniques are available to characterize these materials, and it is very important to understand the structural and other properties of the material. Now, so there are different materials, and the study of these materials or the branch of the science which deals or the focuses on materials is known as the material science. It is not belong to any one subject. It is a combination of different subjects: physics, chemistry, biology, like that. So, the branch of science that focuses on materials, interdisciplinary field composed of physics and chemistry is known as material science. In another way, the material science is nothing but the relationship of material properties to its composition and structure. We should have to establish the relation between the composition and their structure, because every material is made up of different kinds of ingredient, that is called as a composition. Now, the person or the scientist who is working in the field of material science or who explores the properties of the materials is known as the material scientist. So recently, large number of researchers are working in the area of the material science. Almost 80 to 90% of the scientists or researchers are working in the field of material science, and rest of them are working in theoretical science or in other fields. Why there is the importance of material science? Materials are those who continue to change the world. We see that everywhere come across various kinds of materials, and as it progresses, we find different kinds of material. So these materials continue to change the world. Advancement in materials, technology, and science create continued advancement possibilities for each sector. So technology advancement is there, science advancement is there, and material advancement is there. This is the length scale of the material science. I will not go into the details because you all are familiar with the materials length scale. In short, the material science has basically four parts: the structure, then properties, then processing, and performance. Structure: each material has a different structure. It is the arrangement of internal components, subatomic level, atomic level, microscopic level, and macroscopic level. We can observe the structure in different parts. In properties of the material, we have to study the material characteristics, response of external stimuli, mechanical, electrical, thermal, magnetic properties, like that. So various properties we have to study. Then processing. Processing is an important part of the material science, in which various synthesis techniques being developed to prepare the material for particular application. And lastly, there is the performance. The material so prepared by the material scientist is to be tested for different application, how it performs, how its ductility is useful, how its conductivity is useful, how its brittleness is useful. So for that, the performance is also to be tested. So structure, properties, processing, and performance are the four parts of this material science, and material science is the only science which deals with the material, and without material there is no engineering. So there is an advancement of the material science, and there is advancement of the materials. Recently, all of you are very much familiar with the nanomaterials. Now, from where this nanomaterial comes, it is the nanoscience and nanotechnology. Richard Feynman is the scientist who gave the birth to the nanoscience and nanotechnology. He uttered the word, there is a plenty of room at the bottom in a seminar. He wanted to say or convey that on the tip of the pin, we can accumulate or gather more information or more data. So in a small space, there is a capacity to occupy large things. So what is this nanoscience and what is nanotechnology? I will briefly summarize you in what is nanoscience. It is an interdisciplinary field at the boundaries of most science and engineering areas. Again, similar to the material science, nanoscience is an interdisciplinary field. It does not belong to any kind of one kind of subject. It is a combination of physics, chemistry, mathematics, engineering. All the scientists, physicists, chemists have come together and they have to work to form a nanoscience. Why? What at a minimum, you need chemistry to make the materials, physics to understand the properties, and engineering to develop the application. So, the knowledge of physics, the knowledge of chemistry, the knowledge of biology, the knowledge of engineering will lead us to the nanoscience. For preparing the materials, the chemistry knowledge is important because it involves several chemical processes and therefore the knowledge of chemistry is needed to make the materials. The material so prepared will perform different properties. So in order to understand their properties, the knowledge of physics is important. And once this material is prepared, it is to be engineered for different applications. So the knowledge of engineering is also important for the nanoscience and nanotechnology. Nanotechnology, it is the shortened to the nanotech also. In short, we can say nanotech is the study of the controlling of matter on an atomic and molecular scale. Generally, nanotechnology deals with the structure of the size 100 nanometer or smaller in at least one dimension and involves developing materials or devices within that size. Nanotechnology is the creation of functional materials, devices, and systems through control of matter on the nanometer length scales, exploiting novel phenomena and properties present only at the length scale. Nanotechnology is an emerging interdisciplinary area of research for commercial application. So nanoscience and nanotechnology are the new areas of the research. Why we should study the nano materials or what is nano? In order to understand the importance of the nanomaterial or why to study nano, because nano is accessible. Since the materials themselves are new, current research is still working to understand very basic properties of them. We can make the material in nano size, but we are not still aware of their theory or how they behave at nanoscale. So it is important to study the nano. Nano is topical. Many topics are relevant to current nano research and further it is very exciting. Nano has the potential to be the next space program in terms of exciting the student. So there are various interesting things attached with the nanomaterial. So it is very important to study the nanomaterial. Now all the nanomaterials are basically depend on their size. Let us try to understand what is the size. A meter, we have the different scales for measuring the size. A meter is about the distance from the tip of your nose to the end of your hand. It is almost roughly 1 meter, that is 3.28 feet. Millimeter is 1,000 of the meter. Then micron. A micron is the millionth of a meter or 1,000 of the millimeter. And nanometer is 1,000 of the, or that is 10 raised to 9 minus 9 meter. So nanometer or nanoscale materials are having the size 10 raised to minus 9. Why we should study their size? Because when we reduce their size, they exhibit the different properties. The properties of material can be different at the nanoscale for two main reasons. First reason is that nanometer materials have relatively larger surface area when compared to the same mass of material produced in a larger form. That is, for if we compare the surface area of the nano material and the bulk material, then we found that nanomaterials have relatively larger surface area as compared to the bulk material. Nanoparticles can be made of materials more chemically reactive and affect the strength or electrical properties. The quantum effects can begin to dominate the properties of matter at the nanoscale. So, at the nanoscale dimension, the quantum effects are more dominant as compared to the classical moment. Now, these nanoscale materials have the effect on various properties of the material. The catalytic property. The nanomaterials exhibit the better catalytic properties as compared to the other due to the higher surface to volume ratio. If we see the electrical properties of the nanomaterial, then we found that there is increased electrical conductivity in ceramics and magnetic nanocomposites of the nanomaterial. Similarly, the magnetic properties, we observe that the porosity of the material increases. Also, they can exhibit the superparamagnetic behavior. So there is a change in the magnetic properties of the nanomaterial. Similarly, the mechanical, optical, and other properties are changed due to the nanoscale dimension. On the basis of their structure, the nanostructure materials are of three kinds: nanocomposites, nanoparticles, and intermediates. Nanoparticles are again divided into nanofibers, nanowires, ceramics, nanotube. Will not go into the details, just I am giving the little bit information about the nanoscience and nanoscience technology. Nanostructural materials are divided into four categories: zero dimension, one dimension, two dimension, three dimension. Zero dimension length, breadth, and height are confined at a point, for example, nanodot. In one dimension, it has only one parameter, either length or height, example, very thin surface. In two dimension, it has only length and breadth, for example, nanowires and nanotubes. And three dimension, it has a parameter of length, breadth, for example, nanoparticles. These nanomaterials have, or the nanotechnology has application in different fields: in medical application, in electronics application, in food application, in fuel cells, in solar cells, in batteries, in space, in sensors, in catalytic application, in water purification, cruise ship engineering, drug delivery, environmental, construction, agriculture. If you take any sector or any field, then there is a use of the nanotechnology, and by the application of nanotechnology there is a enhancement in the productivity as well as in the performance of the materials in different fields. This is all. You know that how the nanomaterials are defined. Nanomaterials, once again I will define. These are the materials which can be engineered from nanoparticles, nanotube, nanorods or fiber. A more clearer definition could be that nanoparticles are the building blocks of nanomaterials. These have distinct optical, mechanical, electrical, magnetic properties due to which they are highly employed in the field of pharmaceutical, electronics, air and water purification technology, catalysis, drug delivery, etc. Nanoparticles include carbon nanotubes, graphene, photocatalysts, composite, etc. As I told you that the preparation procedure or the synthesis is more important in material science. Similarly, in nanotechnology, there are two approaches for the synthesis of the nanomaterial. One is the bottom-up approach and second is the top-down approach. In bottom-up approach, we found that it is similar to building a house. While constructing the house, we first prepare the base and then go in upward direction to finish the house. Similarly, in nanotechnology, we have to go from the base to the top of the. In this, the materials and devices are built atom by atom. The technique includes chemical synthesis, self-assembly, positional assembly, etc. The technique has the advantage of less wastage. Strong covalent bonds will hold the constituent parts together. It is limited to how big the structures can be made. An approach of what is currently used for preparing the nanomaterials. In top-down approach, where they are synthesized or constructed by removing existing material from larger entities. Lithography is top-down fabrication technique where bulk material is reduced to nanoscale pattern. The top-down approach is analogous to making a stone statue. The process involves wastage and it can be used in fiber. So we have two types of the approaches for the synthesis of nanoparticle. One is the bottom-up approach and second is a top-down approach. In our research, we use the bottom-up approach to prepare the various magnetic nanoparticles. Now I'll focus on the current research work which is going in our laboratory, and we, as I mentioned, that we are dealing with the magnetic materials, particularly ferrite. They are the only materials which are evergreen material, I would say, and has a large number of applications, and consistently from the last 7 to 8 decades they are performing in a better way. These ferrite materials composed of iron oxide and metal oxide, and they possess both electrical as well as magnetic properties, and because of them they are very useful in different applications, right from the transformer core, antenna rod, to the recent advancement in the field of medical science, in the drug delivery, in hyperthermia application. These ferrite nanoparticles are effectively used for the better application. So ferrites are really the best material so far and can have different dimensions and different applications in various fields. On the basis of the occupancy of the elements in a ferrite, it is the general formula for ferrite is M equal to 4. M represent the divalent metal ions like cobalt, nickel, zinc, etc. And on the occupancy of the anion, cobalt, zinc at the tetrahedral site or octahedral site, these are classified as normal, inverse, and random spinel. So we choose the cobalt ferrite material for our study, and cobalt ferrite is an inverse spinel structure. Inverse spinel structure means the cobalt metallic ion is occupied at the octahedral B site, and Fe ion, that is two Fe ions, are distributed equally at tetrahedral A and octahedral B site. The structure of this cobalt ferrite is shown here, and it is inverse spinel. Secondly, it has a high coercivity, it has a high saturation magnetization, it has high anisotropic constant, and moreover, it has a good chemical stability. So cobalt ferrite, among all other rest of the ferrite, that is nickel ferrite, magnesium ferrite, zinc ferrite, performs well and show better characteristics. We can observe the silent feature or the important characteristic of the cobalt ferrite. The inverse spinel structure is the important characteristic of cobalt ferrite, and it is a hard magnetic material. The coercivity is more than 1000 overstate. It has a high anisotropic constant. The density is also high, about 5.22 gram per centimeter square. It has high coercivity of around 2020 overstate. Compared to other spinel ferrites, the magnetization is also high. It is 76, and particularly if you take the nanoparticle, then again it increases. Curie temperature is almost 800 K. Blocking temperature, it is also around 243 K. And moreover, it can be synthesized in a simple manner, and it exhibits better chemical stability. These cobalt materials find very different applications in various fields, and therefore the cobalt ferrite we have chosen to here for our study. We prepare this cobalt ferrite in nanoscale dimension by using the Sol-Gel autocombustion method. There are different methods for the preparation of this cobalt ferrite nanoparticles. There are wet chemical methods like chemical co-precipitation, microemulsion, Sol-Gel, etc. Sol-Gel autocombustion is one of the best techniques for the preparation of nanoparticles of ferrite. The raw materials used in these synthesis methods are the cobalt nitrate, ferric nitrate, and glycine. Glycine is used as a fuel for the combustion process, and all these raw materials are of air grade 99.92 dct, and they are purchased from the Merck. The fuel used here is an glycine. As I mentioned, fuel is important for the combustion process. The fuel to nitrate ratio. This is also one of the important parameter in deciding the synthesis procedure. The fuel to nitrate ratio was chosen as 1:3. Then pH is to be also maintained. It is maintained at 7, that is neutral. The temperature varies from 60, 90 degree and 100 degree centigrade. For all the synthesis of this cobalt ferrite, we need the magnetic stirrer, and the stirring speed is maintained at 800 rpm. And once the nanoparticles are prepared, they are sintered at 500 centigrade after thermal studies for 4 hours. So these are some basic parameters of the synthesis procedure. Here is the synthesis procedure. You can see the different steps involved in this process. You can see the magnetic stirrer on which a beaker is there, then in which we use the copper nitrate, ferric nitrate, then glycine as a fuel, which simultaneously stir and heat this mixture. Then we found that there is formation of soul. After some time we find the gel is formed, viscous gel, then combustion takes place, and lastly we observe the loose powder. And once we get loose powder, which should be dried and then grind, and lastly then sintered in a heating chamber or in a furnace. You will see here that for this solid synthesis technique, you need only the simple equipment like stirrer, beaker, and uh, some rod and like this. So there is no need of any sophisticated instrument in the preparation of method, and therefore the method is very commonly used by many researchers. This is a chemical reaction. How the product, that is cobalt ferrite, is formed by mixing the cobalt nitrate and ferric nitrate in an aqueous solution. Here it is shown the different stages, how it is uh, being soul is formed, gel is formed, then bubbling takes place, how the loose powder is prepared. So this is the videos which are taken while preparing this cobalt ferrite nanoparticles. As I mentioned that it is very important to characterize the any material. So here the cobalt nanoparticle, cobalt ferrite nanoparticle prepared must be characterized by different techniques. So basically, it should be characterized by X-ray diffraction, TGA DTA study, scanning electron microscope, transmission electron microscope, FTIR, and for magnetic study, either you can use VSM or pulse field hysteresis loop technique. Once this cobalt nanoparticle was prepared, it was subjected to the thermal analysis, thermogravimetric analysis, and through this study, we obtained the ferritization temperature. And once this ferritization temperature is achieved, then we sinter the nanoparticle for this at that particular temperature and use for further study. This is a X-ray diffraction pattern of the cobalt ferrite. You will observe that there are different peaks located at different Bragg angle, and you will see that there is no impurity peak. All are clean X-rays. The intense and broad nature of the XRD pattern indicates the nanoparticle nature. And when you analyze the X-ray diffraction pattern by software by analytical way, then it is observed that the product so produced is of single phase. There is no extra peak is involved. All the peaks belonging to the cubic spinel structure. The XRD was taken at room temperature. The target used was copper alpha radiation. Then the model was Joel and it was recorded at AFR Mumbai. Using this XRD pattern, it was clear that the prepared nanoparticles are single phase, and that was our only objective, to show that the preparation is achieved in successful way. The X-ray density, the bulk density, volume, porosity, and the particle size was obtained with the XRD parameter. Here, the particle size is more important, and you will observe that the particle size D is of 21.6, that is almost 22 nanometer. So the prepared particles are in nanoscale dimension, or it is nanoparticle. Secondly, for the morphological study, we use the scanning electron microscope, and this scanning electron microscope was photograph of the scanning electron microscope was shown here. Using the same images, we can find out the surface area as well as the grain size. All these are important to establish that it is a nanoparticle. Similarly, time was recorded here, and it is taken from the IIT Mumbai. This is the FAR spectrum, which represents the two absorption bands, one near 430 and another at 580. So these are the characteristics of the ferrite. You will observe there will be only two peaks, broad peak at particular 400 and 600, that indicate the formation of the cubic spinel structure of the ferrite nanoparticle. This is the magnetization, the important property of the ferrite, that is magnetic property. It was recorded in our laboratory using pulse field statistic.
Now, it is my humble duty to invite Honorable Sau Sulbhatai Sanjay Khodke, MLA Amravati, and President of Praveen Khodke Memorial Trust, Amravati, to deliver her presidential speech. Please, Madam, come and bless us for the success of this web conference. Thank you, Madam. It is time to express the true feelings of our hearts to those who have graced this inaugural session with their precious presence through on virtual form. Therefore, I kindly invite my colleague and convener of this conference, Dr. Prashant Kharath, to propose the vote of thanks for this inaugural session.
Good morning, all of you. It is a matter of great pleasure to welcome and thank you all and gathering in the International Web Conference on Advanced Material Science and Nanotechnology, NanoMat 2020, organized by Department of Physics, Vinayak Vigyan Mahavidyalaya, Nandgaon Khandeshwar, Amravati. It is very much encouraging to see the awesome response received for the conference from the research community. The scientists and researchers from various countries, United States, South Korea, Japan, India, etc., are participating in NanoMat 2020. Eminent scientists, distinguished professors, researchers have also agreed to deliver keynote address, invited talk in the conference. Young scholars participating in the conference will immensely benefited from this. The web conference is designed to offer comprehensive sessions that address recent advancement in the new strategies for the development of the new materials for global requirement, with the objective to install a dialogue between eminent scientists and researchers from academic organization to knowledge transfer, research, practical approach. This web conference covers all the areas of material science and nanotechnology, and will also try to provide a platform to young researchers for their futuristic academic achievement. I am confident that this conference will provide a concrete platform that will encourage the support scholars, researchers, and faculty to carry and accomplish their research goals. Conference received 150 abstracts. Out of these, some of the papers which are likely to publish in Scopus Index Journal. I feel fortunate enough for having strong support from our patron, Mrs. Sulbha Sanjay Khodke, MLA Amravati, and President Praveen Khodke Memorial Trust. Our organizers, Dr. Alka Bise, Principal Vinayak Vigyan Mahavidyalaya, Dr. Suchita Khodke, IQAC Coordinator Vinayak Vigyan Mahavidyalaya, and organizing secretary Dr. Anant Wadatkar, head Department of Physics. College authority gave us full liberty to carry out the things smoothly. For that, I am expressing my sincere thanks to our speakers, management, organizing committee, and dear participants in the NanoMat 2020. Once again, I welcome you all in the NanoMat 2020. Our technical session will start within the 10 minutes after the break.